Welcome back to 10-Minute Prophecy. We hope that you have learned a lot so far. If you haven't seen our previous videos, please watch them, as Daniel chapter 7 builds on Daniel chapter 2. Also, if you don't know the methods of interpreting Bible prophecy, please watch the introduction video to gain a foundation on how to study Bible prophecy. You can find all the videos in the 10-Minute Prophecy playlist on our channel. Through Bible prophecy, you will see that God reveals the origin of Satan's lies and false secular and religious ideas which cause people to fall. If you don't know already, each kingdom represented in Bible prophecy brought false worship and false ideas. We will discuss this more as we go through the prophecies of Daniel and Revelation. We had just left off with the third beast, and now we are starting the fourth beast. In Daniel chapter 7, verse 7, we read, "After this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, exceedingly strong. It had huge iron teeth. It was devouring, breaking in pieces, and trampling the residue with its feet. It was different from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns." Notice that in this next passage, the fourth kingdom is so different than the rest that nothing in the animal kingdom can represent it. This fourth kingdom corresponds to the iron in Daniel chapter 2, verse 40. Which kingdom is this? It is Rome. It conquered Greece. Rome conquered its enemies with dread and terror. It had great strength, and the world has not seen its equal since. The Roman armies advanced with rapid step to conquer from the river Euphrates to the Rhine and the Danube, and all the way to the ocean. It ground the nations into dust beneath its feet and absorbed everything it conquered. The last part of that verse shows 10 horns. Now, horns grow out of an animal in nature. The same is illustrated here. The 10 horns, which are represented as 10 toes in Daniel 2, are 10 kingdoms which arise out of the Roman Empire. How do we know that the horns represent kingdoms? Daniel chapter 7 verse 24 tells us this. Who are the 10 horns? When we look at history, we find that secular Rome broke up into 10 kingdoms, which are now the nations of Europe. Not all of the 10 kingdoms survived, as we will see. Let's look at Daniel chapter 7 verse 8. "I was considering the horns, and there was another horn, a little one, coming up among them, before whom 3 of the first horns were plucked out by the roots. And there, in this horn, were eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking pompous words." Now, a new power is shown to arise out of the Roman Empire. It is strange. It has eyes like a man and a mouth which speaks pompous words. Not only that, as it is coming up, it uproots 3 of the first horns. In other words, it destroys 3 of the 10 kingdoms which arose out of the Roman Empire. So, what is this kingdom which comes out of the Roman Empire and uproots 3 kingdoms on its rise to power? Why does it have eyes like a man and a mouth which speaks pompous words? Also, notice that it is stronger than the other kingdoms, so it influences and dominates the other kingdoms. The Bible is giving the characteristics of this kingdom so that we can look in history to pinpoint who it is. We'll talk more about this later. Moving on to Daniel chapter 7, verses 9 and 10, we find a change in the narrative. "I beheld till thrones were placed, and one that was ancient of days did sit. His raiment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like pure wool. His throne was fiery flames, and the wheels thereof burning fire. A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands of thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set, and the books were opened." All of a sudden we are brought to heaven. Now, when we look at this, we must ask ourselves a few things. Why are we brought to heaven? When is this event happening in time? If we look at the verse, we find some strange imagery. The Bible says that thrones are placed and the Ancient of Days is sitting. What is the Ancient of Days doing while sitting? The verse says he is sitting in judgment. This imagery is something that Daniel would have understood because he worked in the palace. Also, if you looked at ancient kingdoms in the Mideast and Asia, this is what they would do. When is the time of this judgment? It is after the rise of the little horn power. Now let's look at Daniel chapter 7, verses 11 and 12. I watched then because of the sound of the pompous words which the horn was speaking. I watched till the beast was slain, and its body destroyed and given to the burning flame. As for the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and a time. Then Daniel was brought back to this earth and noticed the little horn power continues until the beast is killed and destroyed and put in burning fire. Then the Bible says that the other kingdoms had their power taken away, but their lives were continued. What this shows us is that these kingdoms existed in different forms because their culture, worship, government of the fallen kingdoms continued to contribute their culture into each of the kingdoms that absorbed them. So what is the significance of all this? Are you curious about who the little horn is? Find out next time when we delve deeper into the interpretation of this prophecy. This concludes our time together. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope that you have enjoyed this nugget of prophecy. Join us again in part 4 as we discover the identity of the little horn. If you are enjoying this series so far or have any questions, please comment below. Don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe. Hope to see you soon.